Welcome to another episode of Ball in the VA. We got a special guest, Larry. You know, every time I listen and look at this story, I'm always amazed by my guy. You know, he was the fourth overall pick in the Major League Draft. He's a Hall of Famer on the Peninsula. He's an ODU Hall of Famer. He's a CAA 25th anniversary team member. He's a Hampton Roads African American Hall of Famer. My man is just a Hall of Famer everywhere you look, man. But you know, I'm privileged and honored and excited and blessed to have this man on our show. He's a friend of mine, but he's a great guy, man, also helping out the community. We're going to get into all that later. But first, I want to introduce my main man, Wayne Gomes. Wayne, what's up, my man? What's up, brother?
Hey, man, how you doing, man? Thank you for having me. I'm truly honored to be one of your first guests, man. I can say when this thing blows up, man, you know, I'll be able to say, you know, I was one of the first ones to go out there. I knew him when he had jerseys in the back.
Indeed.
Yeah, you know I knew him when, you know. So congratulations on doing this, man. I'm sure it took a lot of hard work, you know, and stick to itiveness. So I know that I've started a couple businesses and I've started programs that at one point seemed like a pipe dream, and once you get them going, man, you know, you're like, man, I look back and say, I did that. So that's a good thing, man.
Man, we appreciate you, and I didn't mention, and I was going to mention later, Wayne and his family are sponsors of this show, man. Transitions and Empowerment. We're gonna get into that on how that the partnership has helped this podcast become something that everybody's looking forward to, man. We really appreciate you. You know, putting your time and your money into it, and we'll definitely talk about that in a minute, man.
Well, babe, when you asked me about that, man, I didn't even think twice about it, to be honest with you, because, you know, there's been so many times over the years, man, I've said, look, man, I need you to do this for me, and man, you never hesitated, you know. So when you asked me for something like that, man, dude, I was like, this isn't even this. How much is it, you know? What can I do for you, you know? And you know, not that I say I owed you anything, but you didn't owe me nothing either. You know, you help people and try to do for people, and usually it comes back around to work out for you. You know,
we appreciate you, bro.
Yes, we do, bro. We appreciate it, and again, I know how much you've done for the community and a lot of kids and some lives that you changed. And again, we're gonna talk about that in a minute, but Let's talk about you, Wayne. Where it all started, man. Hampton, Virginia. When was baseball? When did baseball become part of your life, and you thought to yourself, you know what, I want to play baseball and have it a part of my life in the future?
Well, man, you know, I was a military brat, you know, so to lock into one area to say where it all started from, I really couldn't answer that. But I know I started playing when I was like 6 or 7. I was living in Germany. My dad was in the Air Force, and we were stationed in Spangdahlem Air Force Base. And then from there, we went on to Edwards Air Force Base. And then from there, we came, you know, back to Hampton. You know, I went to Phoebus. So every place I lived in, you know, I always played baseball. Yeah. But I represent 757. You know, I'm 757 through and through. You know, you ask me where I'm from, you'll never hear I'm from Germany or I'm from Buckrow. I'm from Buckrow Beach. You know, I started here. You know, I was born at Langley, and I've come back home and moved into a little beach house and live about a mile from my mom and dad right now. Yeah, man, I'm from 757. I'm from Hampton. Different little route, but I'm home. And baseball started for me, bro, at birth.
And you talked about Phoebus, Wayne. We all know Phoebus. We talked to many people on how the hotbed of football and even basketball with Troy and Boo and a lot of other guys that come out of Phoebus. But baseball, Wayne, you know how people go to different high schools to excel and get to better schools where colleges can see them. What was your mindset? Was it just your parents saying, look, you're going to Phoebus, you're not going anywhere else? You knew baseball wasn't a hotbed there, you know what I mean?
Well, look, you're right. You're right. But let me tell you one thing that I would like to change the mindset of young people today, but I think the odds are against me. You know, when you play the game just for fun and to win and stop looking at, professional ranks or so forth and so on. When you just go out there and work hard every single day, good things happen for you. You know, I didn't go to Phoebus because they had the best baseball team. I didn't go to Phoebus because they had the best anything. I went to Phoebus because I was zoned for there, and nothing else was really an option. You know, so you're gonna go here and we're gonna make, you know, you like to play baseball, go out there and play baseball. They got a baseball team, and it was simple as that. You know, now things are way more complicated. You got guys reclassifying, which is what it is. You got guys going to certain high schools because of a coach, which is okay. I mean, it makes sense a little bit, you know. But you got guys going, well, they're being recruited, but they putting a lot of other things in front of. I want to play baseball. I want to be good at it, and I want to work hard. You know, it's always what's in it for me when it should be. I like the sport. Let me go out there and pour 100% in it, and then we'll let that take care of itself. I can remember I was in college, man. You know, and to say I went to Old Dominion because I want to be a first-round draft pick and playing in major leagues would be an absolute lie. I went to Old Dominion because they offered me a scholarship and they had offered me opportunity to get education, but I didn't play the game because scouts were there. I didn't play the game because people came to watch me. I played the game because I loved it and I had some teammates and I wanted to win. And with that mindset, it kind of took you know, all the other things happened good for me because I didn't play the game like, oh, this scout's here, I got to do well. Or, man, who's coming to see me? Or, you know, what's a first-round pick getting? Man, I'm telling you, none of that stuff crossed my head, man. I didn't allow it. I just never – I just didn't. I just played the game because I wanted to win. And when I didn't do well, I was so hard on myself. I just worked twice as hard to go out there and not have that feeling again. I didn't like not performing well. So I'm like, what I have to do, I'm going to fix all my mistakes, what I got to do so I don't go out there and look like that because that was embarrassing. You know, I mean, that's just not a good look. So – when you're laser focused on winning the ball game for your team, winning the ball game, you know, doing well for self-satisfaction, and block out all the noise. Like the noise, when I say noise, I mean money, I mean scouts, I mean fame and fortune. You block all that stuff out, you'll be all right. Because I couldn't handle. I personally, I can't go out there and play when I'm thinking, if I do well, I'm going to get this. You know, if I get a save today, I'm going to get paid. If I just can't do that. I'm going to try to win. Okay. And then when you win and do well, look, man, things fall in place, bro. They do. Things fall in place. You know, I mean, that's as far as an athlete, bad things don't happen who guys go out there and do well all the time. It just don't happen. You know, when you have success, good things happen. When you're not successful, is the polar opposite.
And I think that's what a lot of people these days, when especially the young kids, they all, you know, obviously social media wasn't around, you know, in the late 80s, early 90s. So it's more or less self-entitlement, as I always say, man. You know what I mean? Like the hard work, you know, you do a little work and then they expect people to give them something. You know what I mean? And that's why I love your story, bro. Like I always tell people your story because you just put your head down and grind it, man. You went, like I said, you went to Phoebus, and I want people to listen to this, man. You went to Phoebus, you played on a team that wasn't that good. There's no disrespect to Phoebus baseball at all, brother.
Yeah, I understand.
But you went to Phoebus and they weren't that good. You weren't getting looked at. You graduate from Phoebus. You're playing American Legion baseball. A month before classes started.
Right.
I guess it was one of your last games, bro, before the season was over in the summer.
It was it.
And a young man named Jim Farr saw something in you. And I want people to understand, it only takes – when you see people on Twitter and Instagram, oh, I got 20, 30 offers. Guess what, man? It only takes one guy, one person, or one young lady, or whoever, one coach or one scout to see you. And that guy gave you a shot, and that's what I want people to understand is if you keep grinding, somebody's going to see you. Like you said, it doesn't matter if you're playing at Phoebus or Highland Springs or Hampton High or Bethel or wherever you are in the state or country. It only takes one person to see you, and that one person saw you, man, gave you an opportunity. I think it was the last scholarship that ODU had, bro. You got the last scholarship, man.
Well, look, a couple things about that, Wobe. It was about a month before school was supposed to start, okay? And he was like, you know, hey, man, I'd like to offer you a scholarship. Let me see if I can get you in school. And what he didn't know, and this is all a testament to my late mom, was I was already accepted to Old Dominion. I had already been accepted. He couldn't believe it. He was like, "You're what?" I was like, I'm already accepted. I'm not going there, but I've already been accepted. So that has something to do with the grades that you maintain. Because I was already accepted. I didn't want to go there, but I was. And I had pitched 4 years of baseball in high school, 2 years in varsity, played American Legion every summer. Mm-hmm. Plenty of people saw me. I didn't get good one. I didn't have one good game in American Legion. He saw me. That wasn't the case. I had played pretty well, to even be in the All-Star team. So a lot of other people had an opportunity to grab me and give me an opportunity, and they didn't. And Coach Farr was. You know who saw me and said no, this guy can't pitch for us. You know who? Finwood. I give him crap about it. Finwood.
If people don't understand, he is the current Old Dominion baseball coach right now at ODU.
Yeah.
So.
What?
Yeah.
Damn.
He went to Hampton High. Yep. Local guy. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, and I give him a hard time about it every time I see him. He was at VMI. He's like, you can't pitch.
Okay.
You can't pitch for me. I'm like, okay. Hey, look, I didn't take it personal then. I didn't take it personal now.
Right.
I mean, I just take it out when we get on the field. That'll speak for itself. I don't have to lip service or I was ever knowing animosity. I love Finney. He's got to live with his decision, not me.
Right.
So yeah, it just takes one, man. And I tell young kids that all the time. And here's when I use that, Wobe. When I see him on the field, quote unquote, half-assing it. And when I say that, means like, don't run down the first baseline or don't do things the right way. I'm like, look, man, if a scout's here and he sees that, he might only get to see you one shot. That's going to be his memory of you.
That's it.
So look, man, you guys are daggone 15, 18 years old. You ain't tired.
Yeah.
You ain't tired. So come out here for 2 or 3 hours and lay it on the line. Give your best effort. I can't understand anything less. That just doesn't register with me. It doesn't. You can't play for me like that. You just can't play for me. If you can't come out here 3 hours and just and leave exhausted. Just because.
Because that's the way you played, and that's the way you were brought up. You know what I mean? The military background and everything that your dad and your
every day
mom instilled in
you.
you.
Baseball field, man. I was like, I had no regrets. I left it all out there. Hey, look, I won some, I lost some. But I never looked back and was like, damn, I wasn't prepared. I could have did this better. Or if I had done this before the game, I would have done well. That never happened. I just, hey, look, man, you got me today. I'll get you tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
So.
But that's how it was back then, man. There was none of that other stuff that they got going with the social media and stuff like that. We just went out there and did it for the love. Yeah. And whatever the way our parents trained us, that's just the way that we did it. Mm-hmm. Nowadays, these kids, it's a little bit different now. They got a little bit social media. They got to put on for the gram. They got to put the camera out there. And they don't do things, doesn't come across genuine to me, And it's not all, but just some.
It's different. And one thing that's different from, I guess, when I played and when it is now is, and maybe it's all relative, but the amount of money, these players are getting, it's just, they see it and they think, I can be that. And they can. I don't want to take that dream from them. However, they don't understand the percentages are really against them. I mean, throwing a baseball, man, there's a lot of guys that can throw a baseball hard. That don't mean you're going to be in the big leagues. Running the football, there's a lot of guys who run football. That don't mean you'll be in the NFL. But the amount of money, amount of money is out there. These numbers are just, they're crazy. Maybe I signed for about $1 million. I mean, that was a lot of money. Then, but it is what it is.
It's still a lot of money now.
Yeah. It is. Okay, so Wayne, look, man, you finally get to Old Dominion. You get that last spot. Yeah. What's your mindset? I know your mindset is grind, but what's your mindset going from Phoebus to ODU? Facilities step up, coaching's better, competition's better, weight room's bigger. You know what I mean? What's your mindset going in when you see all that stuff?
Now, I would have to say, initially, then I was intimidated. Okay, I was intimidated. And here's the reason why. I came from a program that wasn't good. When I get to Old Dominion, man, you had all Americans all over that field. You had Jeff Ware, Mike Rose. Jeff Ware played in the big leagues. Mike Rose was a 5th round draft pick. I mean, seniors and guys that had a ton of success. Guys that had transferred in from SEC schools. So it was a level of intimidation. Like, I'm a kid from Phoebus. I'm not an all-state player, or I don't have all these accolades. These guys are really good. Until we got on the field and they said play ball, we scrimmage.
That's it.
And once I got in that field, and I realized you bleed just like I do, and we all in the same place now. It was on after that. It was after that first out, maybe the second out, it was a wrap. In inter squad, I was like, look, dude, I was 17 years old. I didn't turn 18 till my second semester, and I'm out here with kids, 20, 21 years old, juniors and seniors, and I was like, well, after I got you out in practice and you're supposed to be the best. Well, okay. Well, I just chopped you up, so
right.
Let's go. And I also saw, like the best pitcher, I saw what he was doing. And I was like, how can I, not to say I was competing against my teammates, but I wanted to, mimic, what they were doing. And if I could throw the ball as hard as they could do, or if I could, have a breaking ball as good as them. And I'm a freshman and you're a junior. Well, man, look, there's something here. So, it was my work ethic as well too.
Why didn't you want to? Why? Well, I remember earlier you said that you wasn't going to ODU.
Mm-hmm.
What school did you have in mind that you wanted to attend?
Man, look, I was all enrolled. This is gonna sound crazy. This is a crazy story, man. God's got his plan to go to Newport News Apprentice School, man, to be an electrician.
Yep.
Wow.
And there's only one reason why I didn't go there. That's only one reason, and it ain't nothing to do with Old Dominion. The only reason why I didn't go to Newport News Apprentice School, because you had to be 18 years old when I wasn't 18. Yep. Man. I had passed the physical. I had passed the drug test. I had done my interview. All that stuff is part of going to the apprentice school. You got to go to interview. Norm Snead, he used to be the quarterback for the Philadelphia Eagles back in the 60s. He did the interview process. For all the athletes that came in there, you had to go through Norm Snead. I don't know if he's living or not. I think he still is.
Yeah, I think he is, yeah.
Yeah, Norm Snead. He did my interview. Drug test is a big thing. If you can get through the interview, you get the drug test, pretty much everything else is you're good. But most people can't get through those two things, the drug test and the interview. Because I was like, man, you got to be ready for these two things, because normally in that drug test, everybody, you want to come in here smoking weed and stuff, it ain't gonna fly in the shipyard. So I did all that, and they were like, okay, said, man, look, man, when you turn 18, hey, you in, I was like, all right. So that summer, I was playing ball, 17 years old, made the All-Star team. Old Dominion offered me a scholarship. I was like, nah, I'm good. I'm going to be an electrician. They were like, you gonna do what? I'm like, nah, I'm going to be.
He said, you gonna do what?
I'm going to be an electrician. And they're like, well, let's try this ODU thing. And my best friend was going there already. My best friend was already enrolled there.
Oh, Kevin Swan, right?
No. It was Kevin was at Central Connecticut.
Oh, that's right. He did go there first. Yeah,
Connecticut. Tremaine Jackson. He lives in Atlanta. Okay. He was like, dude, you can't pass this up. You got to come to Old Dominion. I was like, nah, I'm good. I'm going to apprentice school. He's like, man, you can live with me. You can come to my place. So for my first year, I ended up going, obviously. In my first year, I stayed at home. And I would stay at his house on the weekends, But I was commuting every single day because I only got $1,000, and I couldn't afford, the
apartment.
And,
yeah.
And it was a last minute thing.
Yeah.
Wow, man. See what I'm saying, man? That's a testimony in itself, man.
Yeah. So
that's the story I tell people, man. Like, you never know, man. You never know where your path's gonna end up, bro.
Yeah.
Like that's so like you had a great career at ODU. 3 years later, Wayne, at the time, and I tell this all the time, you were the highest picked baseball player, if I'm not mistaken, in the state of Virginia at the time, right? Before the Upton boys came, and later on, this man was the number 4 overall pick 3 years prior, he didn't even know if he was going to ODU. You know what I mean? Come on, bro. That's crazy.
Electrician.
Exactly.
Go from being
crazy.
ready to go out in the work world, and then you end up being the number 4 overall pick. Man, you got to tell us about that day, man. Tell us, relive that day of draft up to that point.
Did you? All right. First of all, did you know you were gonna be picked 4th, or was just kind of out of nowhere? Did you hear stuff? Or
man, yeah, it was. I had a feeling it was gonna be top 5 picks. You know, it was 1 through 5. I had never heard anything less.
Wow.
You know, so yeah. I mean, it was a fun day, man. I remember the family being around and friends and my coaches, and yeah, it was a fun time, man. It was a fun time. It was, but it wasn't something that I can't say that I sat there and thought about a lot until that time, because again, man, you sit there thinking about how I want to be the first round draft pick and such and such and such. Well, then you lose sight of what you're out there for. You know, you ain't out there to be the first round draft pick. You're out there to win a ball game. You're out there to be the best. And when you try to win a ball game and you try to be the best, like I said, man, good things happen. When you out there, for me, you know, when you're out there say, look at me, or when you're out there and have an ulterior motive, like you don't care about the results of the game, all you want to do is shine. Well, you know, you ain't gonna shine. You know, I mean, if a scout can see that you selfish, I ain't saying he will pick you, but if you know baseball, that will stand out. You know, in the minor leagues, man. There's a misconception among the players that they don't care if we win or lose down here. Okay, they don't care if we win or lose. You know, hey, you know, that is so far from the truth. When the brass, they call the brass, like the scouting director and so forth and so on, when they see their minor league teams play, they want to see them win, because when you win, you learn that mindset. You got it's some kind of team involved, and you know that translates on up the ladder, AAA to big leagues. Obviously, winning the minor leagues isn't obviously as important win the big leagues. Let's don't get me mistake, okay? But they want to win in their minor league levels, because when you have winners, okay, guys used to winning. Well, that's the expectation all the way through the organization. We want to win. We want to win. We want you guys to win. We want guys on the team that want to be around the winning atmosphere. That's what we're creating in the big leagues. We want to create that in the minor leagues. So,
when you get there, Wayne, I know you're not. You talked about it earlier, how it's just work to you. But when you get there, was there a moment where you just got a chance to reflect and be like, man, like. I'm a kid from the 757 in the freaking big leagues. Like, was there like a time, a game, a person you were pitching against, or just a city that you went to, you just thought to yourself, I'm in the big leagues, man. Was there ever a time for you for that?
I never got in the game. I never got in the game and looked around to take it all in. And here's the reason why.
Okay.
When you're out there, okay, your focus is outs, getting guys out, so forth and so on. To me, to take away from that and look around like, hey, man, you know, I can't turn it on, turn it off. That's one thing. You know, when I'm getting my mind right for the game, you know, I'm getting my mind right for the game. And if I did that, if I took my mind off the game and looked around like, man, look where I'm at. My mind ain't on the hitter. My mind isn't on everything. All my teachings, my checkpoints, or so forth and so on. So if I've ever done that, it's been after a game, after having success, and see I'm in the big leagues, and yeah, man, look, you know, yeah, I did that. I can say I've had several moments of that. Okay, but on the field, nah, bro, it's tunnel vision. I hear nothing that's unimportant. I mean, like fans yelling at me, I don't hear that. I mean, yelling at for me or against me, I don't hear that. You know, the voices that are important, I'll catch. You know, my infielders obviously have a coach. You know, obviously, you know, I'll catch that. But 50,000 fans, 100,000 fans, or two fans don't mean nothing to me. You know, it don't mean nothing to me. I played in front of both. You know,
he's spoken like a true Capricorn.
Yeah.
Man, that sounds like a lot of stuff my son used to say. He's like, I don't be hearing nothing out there, man. I've been focused on what's going on.
Yeah, and again,
I got to block all that other stuff out.
No, you're right, Larry, because especially at that level, I've always been intrigued by, like, athletes to get to that level, and they never really reflect on how they got there. It's just grind. You don't have time to really, man. I'm in the NFL. I'm in the NBA. I'm in the Major League Baseball. I'm pitching at Yankee Stadium. I'm pitching in, the Vets. You know what I mean? You just do it, and it's like it's just work. But to us as fans, we're like, man, I'm in Yankee Stadium. I'm in the Phillies. But and I've always been intrigued by you guys, Wayne, like your athletes at high level, making it to that level, knowing it's hard work. But just getting there and just saying, you know what, I got to focus on the job at hand. I just got to get things done. That's
right.
You described it right. It's grind. Yeah. Just put your head down and do it. Do what needs to be done.
That's what I always wanted to ask you. Man, I never got a chance to ask you this. Do you ever take pride, man? Like I mentioned it earlier, like you were the first player from this area, bro, like to be drafted fourth. Like, you were the highest pick from this area. And after you had the Upton boys 1 and 2, you had David Wright, you had Kadire, you had Zimmerman and all these other guys. But you were the first, bro. Like you started the trend of the 757 guys that were all-stars and champions. Do you ever, I know after your career was over, do you ever look back and be like, you know what? I was there, I did it. I kind of started the trend a little bit. Not that you would go about bragging about it, but deep down, you got to take a little pride in that.
I take pride in it when I hear it. Yes.
Yeah.
But I would have never. It's not something I would have a conversation. Hey, look, man, none of these came before me. Right. That's not you. Yeah, that's not me. Like, man, you were spilling off Hall of Fame stuff.
Yeah, man. Crazy.
That's cool, but I really had forgot about 3 of them. I know the OG one because that's always in front of me.
Right. But yeah, man. They got the Peninsula Hall of Fame, ODU Hall of Fame, the CAA 25th anniversary team, which is crazy because
I take pride. I mean, I am like to be a part of all that to be mentioned. Because I've never been mentioned in the Virginia Sports Hall of Fame.
Really?
Never. They've never
really.
But one time somebody came to me and said, "Hey, you're not the Virginia Sports Hall of Fame," and I was like, "Oh well, it is what it is. Okay, I don't know." And they said, a part of that is kind of politicking for it. I was like, "No, thanks."
That's not.
Hey, man. Let me tell you something. True. After I seen Remember the Titans, I don't want to hear them jokes no more. Yeah, you remember how they were trying to, dog them out, to try to get them in there. So I know they were just a movie, but I'm like, nah.
Yeah, that's not. That would be something for me to go knock on somebody's door and say, "Hey, man, you got to check my man out in Hampton. He played in the league, but that's not Wayne's deal. He's not going to do that."
That'd be cool.
I might have to. I didn't realize that because I actually know the director over there. That's crazy, man. That's crazy.
Writing something on my behalf, man. Look,
but you would think, why not? He's
been in everything else. Yeah.
Right.
I am going to be great without it. I'm going to be great with it. It does not change any parts of my life. If they accept me, I would humbly accept it. But I'm
hey, look, how about this? We're gonna I'm gonna discreetly slip this interview to the director's email inbox and let him go over all the stats and everything we talked about, and we'll see if they decide to put you in after this, man.
But you know what, though? But
your career is amazing, dog.
Well, he's right, because T.O. said the same thing when they asked him about the Hall of Fame process. He said, man, if this is what I got to go through with all the politicking, man, he said, look, I'd be happy without it.
That's true.
And for him to say that, and I was like, he said, yeah, I want to be there, but he was like, no. He says too much, and they said, well, you got to be a part of the media and stuff. He said, well, that's what I got to do. Well, I guess I won't get there.
Well, let me try to kind of explain a little bit on that. I never played the game to be recognized. I didn't do it to get an accolade, to get a trophy or to get recognition. Like I said, man, I played to win. I played to win, and I played, for self satisfaction, and for the guys around me. When you do that, other things always seem to take place. I remember, I'll never forget. I went out there one year, like, man, I'm going to be on the All-Star team or something this year. I'm going to be on the All-Star team this year. And I went out there every day and played how hard I could and didn't make it. And I said, you know what? I'm never doing that again. I'm never doing that again. You went out there and that was selfish. Your team could have lost every game and you could have made the All-Star team. So that means you'd have been happy. You should have went out there and just say, look, I'm gonna try to win the championship. I don't remember what level it is. And I tell you, my junior year, I was my sophomore year, I was the closer, and I had a pretty good year at Old Dominion. I think it was my sophomore year. And I remember that year, man, I didn't go out there and said anything. I said, look, I'm going here and be the best I can every single day. And we got to the conference tournament. And the coach was like, everybody, we talked about this before, get dressed. We go into our award ceremony. And, sure enough, we went to the award ceremony. And they were giving out awards. I think we were new to the CAA or something. Okay, they were giving out awards, which I didn't even know they had. I think it was the best relief pitcher or so forth and so on. I didn't even know they had these awards, and I cleaned house. I didn't, and I think the reason why I cleaned house was because I went there with I started the season with the mindset: be great today, be great today, be great tomorrow. And when I was out there to try to be great every single day, like I said, man, everything else will take care of itself. I didn't say out there to be a first round draft pick. I didn't go out there to be, all CAA. All that stuff is good. But if you do that, I think you're losing focus on what we're here for. We're here to win baseball games.
Yeah, because I'm looking at your win-loss and your percentages, man. Like I said, you did pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean, for 6 years, man, you got 5-1, 96, 5-5, 4-6, 6-3, 4-3. I mean, you pretty much every year, you was winning. I mean, like I said, you contributed to the team's success. So you're right. I mean, everything that you're saying is in your stats. So there's no lies there.
They say numbers don't lie, bro. That's how it goes.
No, they don't. They don't. I mean, they just look at it, man. So, I mean, like I said, man, when you do it for the love, it just happens.
Yeah.
I've never been an athlete. I just love talking with guys like yourself that can share your experiences and telling us exactly what was your mindset and all the process to go through it, man. So for me, like big props, man. Like I said, man, it's well, you got a whole lot to be proud about, man.
Yes, he does, bro. But so look, Wayne, you go through a great career in the major leagues, and this is one thing that I love, man. You come back, most you could have went anywhere in the world, Wayne. To be honest, you could have went back to San Francisco. You could have lived in suburban Philadelphia.
Yeah,
all your stops, man. You could have been anywhere. But you chose to come back home, bro, and build your academy and help kids, help the community, because you know how much the community helped you. Talk about that, man. Like, did you have that thought as your career was going on? Like, I'm coming back home. I'm going to get into coaching. Like, what were you thinking about towards the end of your career when you knew it was coming to an end, about what you were going to do when you retired?
Yeah, I wanted to come back home. I wanted to come back home, when I got traded from Philadelphia to San Francisco, we had lived all our off seasons in Philly and actually New Jersey, but the Philly area. And when I got traded, I was like, well, I know I'm not going to want to live my off seasons in Philly now that I'm no longer playing with the team. So my wife was like, no, I was like, where you want to go, baby? She was like, well, she wasn't really interested in going home. She wasn't really interested in going. She's from Massachusetts. And I said, well, I am. She's like, well, I'm not against that. She's like, you put me on some water, I'll go anywhere. And I was like, well, 757 is on some water.
There you go.
A lot of water.
So when I was living in, they were building a development in Suffolk, brand new Harborview. And her and my agent flew in to see it. And she fell in love with it. It was close to water, but it wasn't backed right in the water. And She fell in love with it. I hadn't even seen it. She showed me some pictures. I said, scoop it up. So we bought it. We moved home. It was 18, 19 minutes from mom and dad. And it was a good fit. What we realized then, it was close to my mom and dad, but it wasn't close enough. We enjoyed being around mom and dad so much, we actually moved a mile away from them now. So,
You definitely on the water. You definitely on the water right now. It's all water behind you, but
yeah.
So you get the academy and you help kids. What was that thrill for you? I mean, I know playing you get a thrill, but what's the thrill about helping younger kids and helping the community, helping kids? Yeah, not only I know they come to you, say I want to get to the big leagues, but what's your goal for them as a coach to try to mentor them?
I get a lot out of that, man. And I like to teach them life lessons along with baseball, and I like the growth as young men, just as much as I like teaching them about baseball. I have so much to offer in the baseball field. I think I got a lot to offer from a counseling perspective and a mentoring perspective too. And when the kids want to listen, man, I want to share them. I treat them all like they're my own children, man. And I don't tell them anything I wouldn't tell Miles and Wesley. I'm just real with them. I want to see them prosper. My mental health program, that's what I do all day is mentor and work with kids, with mental health issues and who are in bad spots, and I have to be honest with you, there's some really rough days with some of these young people. There's some really rough days. But this has happened to me like a few times. I'll see one of my kids in my program on the streets or working, most I'm working. And when I see them, I never acknowledge them. And I'm going somewhere with this. I never say, hey, you were such and such from E.T.H.O.S. I don't do that. And the reason why is when you're in my program, you've been disciplined. So it's not something that everybody needs to know. It's not something that people around them, hey, man, yeah, you were kicked out of school, so you came to me. They don't need to be reminding me of that. They don't need to be put on blast. They might have changed. But I'm telling you, it's happened to me a couple of times. Like, it happened to me about 2 months ago. And I was at Anna's, and this girl was like, you remember me? And she had a mask on. But I knew who she was. I was like, yeah, I remember you. She's like, you from E.T.H.O.S? I was like, yeah, I am. Because she saw my credit card. All right. Yeah, you from E.T.H.O.S. I said, yeah. She said, I was in your program. I was like, yeah, I know. I know. There's not too many faces that come through my program I don't remember. She's like, yeah. She's like, man, you guys got me straight. I'm working at a great place now. I'm doing this. I'm dodoing that. I got myself together. That's awesome. She actually came and gave me a hug. And at the time, man, I was going through a real emotional spot. Because my mom, she was going, she was sick. And man, we just both sitting in Anna's, man. I was like kind of teary eyed, man, because working with those young people, man. Look, Will, I get cussed out every day. I mean, those kids have no respect. And I get it so much. I'm numb to it. Right. More you curse me out, the more love I give you, and they've never seen that before. It's confusing to them. Right. They'll say F you, and I'm like, F me. Hey man, I love you. I think you're strong. I think you're powerful. I can see great things out of you. And they're like,
it's tough to do, man.
It's confusing. Oh man, it didn't come naturally, Will Bay.
Right.
It didn't come naturally. The first few kids that did that, I would either ice out, like, look, I ain't dealing with you,
right,
or so forth and so on. But that's not the answer. I'm the adult. I'm the professional. And they're kids. They may think they're grown, but they ain't grown. So I got to be the bigger person. And it ain't personal, man. It's an act. It's a facade. They have an audience. They have an audience, and they have to impress. They got to gain that attention. They have to gain their cred so they can establish some kind of credibility amongst the group. So it ain't. I'm just the person they cussing out because they'll get some brownie points for, they'll get a name for themselves because they cussed out the boss. Cool. Okay. Cool. Okay. Bro, you ain't bothering me. I'm going home to a beautiful home, a beautiful wife, and nice family. And, a pocket full of money. I mean, look, bro, you're not gonna ruin my day.
Right.
I'm gonna be all right. I'm gonna be all right, and you're still gonna be in the same situation you are. So you need to let me help you, or continue to do what you're gonna do. But I'm having a hard time, there was a time, Obeg. There was a time when the kids would come at me like that. It was difficult to take. But I was like, man, look, why are you tripping off this kid? You know what I'm saying? This kid has a ton of issues. He has bad background, no money, hasn't eaten all day. It's lunchtime. We got a ton of issues that we dealing with, man. You go there, be a bigger person, and try to make his day better. So, that's how that came about.
What are your age groups?
For what? I got a couple programs. Which one? You talking about my high school program?
Yes, for the mental health program.
Mental health program. Well, my mental health program right now is for kids who are suspended from high school, who are done something in school to get kicked out, essentially. So what I did was not to make your answer long, but I'll kind of explain to you what I did was.
This is what we're here for, bro.
I went to the school and was like, look, man, when your kids are suspended, what are they doing? Are they in the streets? Are they with home with grandma?
Hey, Wayne, this is before you started. You just said, I got an idea.
Yeah, this is how I got started. So I went to Dr. Chiplet. She was our superintendent. And she knew me from Phoebus. She knew I played, and she was like, look, I'm going to steer you in the right direction. I'm going to put you in the right people. And I got, about a year later, we had to go through some attorney stuff and so forth and so on. It was a long process. And I got the contract to provide a program that allowed the kids to, instead of going home for being suspended, they could come to me. And we would provide teachers, we would provide lunch, we would provide mental health, we would provide counseling, we would provide mentorship during that time they're suspended, instead of just going home. Because a lot of times they get suspended, they're like, whew, good. I get to go home vacation. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nobody there at the crib, mom's at work. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. This is exactly where I want to be, not in my program, So, and the program became so good, it started off with one school, then went to two schools, then COVID hit. But if you notice now, all of Hampton City schools are 100% accredited. Mm-hmm. Well, part of the accreditation process is when attendance. If you have a certain amount of kids kicked out of school, well, that's a black mark on your school. And if you have kids who are getting suspended all the time, well, that's in that school, their attendance is poor. So, look, man, if a kid getting in a fight and your policy is getting suspended, that's the policy, So there's nothing they can do about that. You can't change the rules to protect your numbers. It is what it is. So what they did, when they get sent to me, they're not counting absent because they're in school. So
okay.
So right. Those numbers of being absent were almost like, man, we saved the school. The year they got accredited, we saved the school. It was something like 740 days of absent days.
Wow.
It was something crazy. It was
that's crazy. I like that.
That's so
really nice.
So that was a big part of the Hampton City Schools becoming accredited.
Okay.
So
that's dope, man. And again, we want to mention, transition empowerment and E.T.H.O.S is the organization that Wayne and Melissa Gomes are spearheading. Not only it's the whole peninsula. It's everywhere. It's everybody. Not really Hampton, right? I mean,
correct.
Not just a Hampton-based. It's a Hampton-based organization, but it's for all over the whole area.
Correct. And to answer your question, I don't know if I kind of got long-winded. My kids are in high school, so I guess 14 to 18.
But this, like I said, this is the story that we want to hear, man. Like I said, when we don't hear, you just let it all out, man. Because like I said, it may be things that I might want to ask or we might want to ask. So you did fine. So
spread it out.
That's what we want to know.
And again,
we have to know.
And again, this is the number 4 overall pick coming back home. I want to reiterate this. Coming back home to help the community, man. Like I said, he could have went anywhere in the world. He comes back home to help people that, the same people that helped him. And it's just a great thing, man. Like, you coming back home and you're doing this, and you and your wife coming together. You have an awesome family. I want to also, man, say publicly, rest in peace and rest in heaven to Miss Wanda Gomes. She was an awesome lady. You know, she passed away, man. I love Miss Gomes, man, and she was awesome, bro. And yep.
Yeah,
So,
you know,
and man, listen, you got an awesome family, and that's what I want people to understand. Like, people that make it from where they make it from, they had help, and it's the community and the family that make these athletes get to where they are. And then you see a guy like Wayne Gomes coming back home and giving back the way people gave back to him. You know, you got to give him credit for that, man. And you and your wife again are doing this transition and empowerment and ethos, and you know, you still coaching. And I want to talk about that. When you coaching at Phoebus, now you go back to Phoebus where it all started, bro. And now you coaching. You know, what's your second season? I know COVID knocked out your spring season, but there's a third. This will be your third year coming in, right?
Yeah, I was the assistant coach my first year. Well, how it started was I told the AD, I said, I want to come back and coach. I said, but I don't want the varsity team. I want the JV.
Right.
You know, he was like, all right, you know. However, there was literally 9 kids out there for JV and varsity. So we didn't we didn't even have a varsity team. And I kind of got thrusted into, well, I was supposed to be the assistant coach, but I did everything. I mean, everything. Lineups, practice, everything. I'm not even sure how many times you saw the head coach. But anyway, so I did that. The next year, you know, I had a talk with the AD. I said, look, you know, I'm very interested in the head coaching position. I said, however, you know, if I'm gonna be a part of this, you know, I want to bring my own people in, and it's gonna be mine or I'm out, you know, because it was frustrating, man. It was very difficult. Kids weren't good, you know. They were seniors, so they really don't care, because they weren't playing. It was just a fun thing. It was just fun for them, and I wanted to be fun, but I wanted to be serious because I put a lot of pride into playing baseball, man. When you go out there and disrespect the game, when you go out there and don't play. You know, you just go out there and chuck it and drive. I don't play baseball like that, you know. Mm-hmm. So we didn't really have the same mindset. So come to last year, man, we had about 19 kids out there, bro. Nice. And they weren't great, you know.
But you got numbers at least. You got some numbers.
We were looking good. We were practicing good. We were practicing hard. We were ready to go. Man. Look, man, do I think we would have won 10 ball games? No. But I think we could have found a way to win 6 or 7. You know, I mean, I think so. And then COVID hit. And then I'd be honest with you, I don't think we'll play this year either. You know,
I don't think so, man.
You know, so I mean, because you know they're supposed to tell us on January 11th, and man, this COVID thing just ain't giving up right now, man. You know, so
that's a whole different subject.
Yeah. So and I'll be honest, man. I'm not quite sure I want to play, and here's the reason why. Right now with COVID, man, they have a ton of restrictions on what you can do. Okay, Some restrictions are you can't play catch, you can't have a baseball, you can't all right, look, man, I understand. I understand you have restrictions. I get that. Okay, but if you're gonna tell me I'm gonna go out there and coach baseball and I can't play catch. Well, then we shouldn't.
What's the purpose?
I just don't understand it. I just do. I would never understand. What are we doing? I mean, what are we doing? We're either going to do this or we're not. So if they feel it's such a hazard for us that we can't play catch, I suggest we don't do this, man.
Yeah. You don't do it at all.
It's counterproductive. I mean, you're going to get somebody hurt because you're not in shape, and it's just time. The time just doesn't seem right. I don't even want to coach baseball when you tell me I can't play catch, because to me when you're coaching at that age, you got to teach the fundamentals. Well, you telling me I'm not allowed to teach the fundamentals. You know. So it is what it is. You know,
that's nowhere to go at all, man. You can't. Yeah. You can't get your guys out there. I mean, but again, that's encouraging though, man. That you had 18. I came to a couple of your games the year before, and I mean, you had a team that was learning. You had a couple decent prospects, but
you did, yeah.
Just to have numbers from the year 1 to year 2, it has to be promising for you.
That first year, man, our 2 best players. The first year I was the JV coach. I mean, the assistant coach. Our 2 best players were freshmen.
Right.
Two best players on the team were freshmen. Everybody else was seniors. We only had 9, and we had 2 freshmen, and they're both our best players. So I'm like, okay, I got something of a core. I mean, I usually think in baseball field, if you have a core, you have 6 players, but I'm being optimistic.
Right.
So I mean, I had two good pieces.
Do you think? And I always got to ask this question to former athletes: is it harder just knowing that you've been to that level, Wayne, to coach kids that aren't at your level? I guess I can say. Is it harder to coach kids like that? I mean, knowing that you know how it is to be that guy.
I don't think it's hard because a lot of things just, man, my eye just tells me that's wrong.
Right.
The hardest part for me is talking so where they can understand. Okay. And what I mean by that is, I assume everybody knows what a hit and run is. I assume everybody knows what a pitch out is. I assume everybody knows 1 is a fastball, 2 is a curveball. I assume everybody knows how to tag up. Those things you just can't assume when you
right.
I mean, like literally, man, I've seen a guy, with no outs be on first base and they hit the ball straight up in the air and he's rounding second about to score. And I'm like, dude, are you serious, man? Like,
wow.
Yeah, you gotta go back. Man, wait for the
like, come on, man. Man. So you think this is just Phoebus talking. This isn't all high school ball. You think when they get to a certain level of high school ball, some things you wouldn't have to teach. That's not the case. That's not the case, and that's frustrating. Teaching kids who aren't that great isn't hard, because their mistakes are so obvious. This is what we need to work on. But talking their language, I have to tell them, do you understand what I'm saying? Look, man, here's your opportunity. Tell me, because if you do understand, I'm going to expect you to do it right when you get in the field. And sometimes you do, sometimes they do, sometimes they don't, but they didn't understand. A lot of times they say, I don't understand. Like, cool, since you don't understand, I'll break it down further for
you. Why wasn't, my question to you, Wayne, would be, what made you decide not to coach at the major league level?
Oh, that's a good question, man. That's an easy one. I spent my whole career on buses and planes, traveling, being away from family sometimes as my young kids. I didn't want to do that any longer.
Okay.
I didn't want to do that any longer. That's one reason. I want to be home. I want to be stable. Second reason is the pay isn't great.
Okay.
It's not great, unless you get to the major league level. Okay. The third thing is, as far as getting to the major league level, it's not about how good you are. Okay. And to get to the major leagues, you got to be good. You got to be good. You have to shine on the field. Well, as a coach, if you have somebody in the front office that likes you or has a previous relationship with you, or
politics,
politics, and so forth and so on. I'll give you a perfect example. You get bumped to the front of the list, and so forth and so on. So here's an example. One of my best friends in the game is Marlon Anderson. So Marlon Anderson coached with the Mets up until about a month ago. Well, during this, right before the season started, Marlon he was already their outfield coordinator, which is a pretty big job to be a coordinator, base running and outfield coordinator, right? But he had interviewed for a big league job. I think it was the first base coach. And he lost out that job to one of the manager's friends. The manager interviewed 2 people. He gave it to his boy. Okay, that happens every day. All right, but he's still the minor league coordinator. He's still the outfield coordinator. All right. Okay. So recently, the Mets brought in a whole new team, new ownership group or something, or a new GM. I'm pretty sure they did. All right. Well, the person who hired Marlon, got fired. Okay, I want a new ownership. I want a new staff. They fired him. So what does that mean for Marlon? The person that was interviewing for a big league job, he went too. They fired him too. So like you could have done a great job. You could have done a great job and poured your hearts into the job. You know, been the best. But the new person who came in and brought the new team in, he don't know that. He don't know you. And now all this hard work you've done is for naught. So I like to be in control of my own destiny, man, you know, to a certain degree. You know, I like to be, you know, if I do a good job, I'm going to have success. If I don't, I'm going to get fired. It's something for that role, it doesn't matter. You could suck. And if the right person likes you, you're going to keep a job.
Keep a job.
You know,
it's crazy. It's crazy.
You know, it's just, I don't want that. I didn't want that. You know, you could be a great manager and spend years in the minor leagues. You'll never get an opportunity, you know, because you don't know the right person. Look, man, do you remember Walt Weiss?
Yeah, for the Mets.
Yep. Shortstop, right?
Yeah, Walt Weiss. Walt Weiss got the job as the Rockies manager about 5, 6 years ago. I don't know how many years.
I remember that. Yeah.
You know where Walt Weiss was before the year before? You know where he was the year before he got that job?
No.
He was a high school coach, bro.
Wow. He's from high school to major league.
But you think about it. But see, Wayne, he breaks up a great point. And I didn't mean to cut across you, Wayne. No. And I'm going to let you get back to that. That's what this thing that everybody was talking about with Steve Nash getting that Brooklyn job. I know it's basketball, how he has no experience and just comes out of nowhere to get that job.
That's the kind of stuff I'm talking about, you know? So not only does he have experience, okay? All right. In the minor league, within an organization, you have 50 coaches. 50 coaches that are in your organization. You see every single day. You know what kind of job they do. Okay, you see how they lead men. You see how they interact. You've seen them. Okay, and you know all those guys would love this opportunity to coach at the big leagues, but you chose in high school coach, and based on what? I mean, what was your basis on choosing him? Because he was a good player. I would have to know that. You know, he gave you a good week's worth of interviews. I just, you know, those kind of things, I've seen it 1,000 times, man. I've seen guys come off the field. And go right into, right from being a player to becoming a coach in the major leagues. Let me tell you, my third year in the big leagues, right? My third year in the big leagues, I was eligible for arbitration. Okay. I was eligible for arbitration. Arbitration is when your first shot at making some real money. Okay. So that year, you know, I can remember going out and partying, you know, with Ruben Amaro. Okay. Ruben Amaro. You heard the name Ruben Amaro?
Never heard of him.
Ruben Amaro. He probably played 6-7 years in the big leagues. Okay. Right. I remember going out and party with Ruben Amaro. That off season, guess who has now retired and is now the assistant GM? Ruben Amaro. I said, whoa. You're now doing my contract, Ruben? I mean, we were friends and teammates 5 months ago, bro. I mean, and now you stop playing and now you're assistant GM? Okay. I don't know this. I know he graduated. I know he played baseball and graduated from Stanford. Okay, and I'm proud of him for that.
There we go.
Good. However, the Amaros had a name within the organization for years. His dad played for the Phillies, and Ruben was a bat boy. You know, back in the '80s. You know, I guess all that added up to now you're the assistant GM, and he ended up being a GM. Ruben, I think, was the GM for the World Series. I mean, the team that put the World Series together, or somewhere close. I'm pretty sure he was. You know, assistant GM or something. I don't know. You know, put that team with Jimmy and all those lefty Cole Hamels and all that team together. You know, so no, he ended up doing all right. You know, but again, man, you had a ton of executives within the organization, and to say Ruben is now the assistant GM, you know, what about all the people who's passed and what people who paid his dues? That's what you're there for. You know, when you're in a job, okay, everybody is looking for the next promotion. I mean, I'll do a good job so I can get promoted. Isn't that that's kind of what we do? You know, I was in minor leagues. I want to do great so I could get the AA, so I get AAA. I mean, that's our my mind frame. You always want to do better. You don't really trying to stay stagnant. So how does it make you feel when you're doing your best and you're looking for the promotion, and somebody who you ain't ever seen before comes over here and says, "Oh, I'm gonna go ahead and take this job ahead of you," and now I'm your boss. That just never sat well with me, man. It never sat well with me. I just feel like I would never be in control of my own destiny. I've had plenty of opportunities, man. You know, minor league coaching jobs. You know, I never.
What about college, Wayne?
I could go back to the ODU, but they never even called me, man. And I have to say I'm somewhat bitter about it, but I'll get over it.
I'm sure. You know?
I mean, I would have liked
absolutely.
I would have liked to have been a pitching coach at Old Dominion. I would have liked.
And you should.
And I would have been great at it. You know,
I know you would.
You know, so but anyway, it is what it is. Like I said, man, look, you know where I'm at. I ain't lose no sleep over it. If you don't want me, I'm gonna grind and do something where somebody doesn't want me, and it's not my fault, it's yours.
That's how you gotta look at it, man.
It's your loss, it's not mine.
Yeah, a lot of the athletes they do come back to go to the high schools or the middle schools and stuff like that. And you know, I remember, you know, B Steele told me about that. He came back to Richmond because he didn't want to deal with the politics of, you know, dealing with the NFL and, you know, college football is. Yeah, I'm telling you, man.
When Marlon told me he got fired, man, I was so hurt for this dude because, you know, I know what he put into it. Right. And I tell you, it just, when he told me, it was like, this is exactly why I don't do this. This is exactly why I chose not to go back, you know, to play, to coach in pro baseball, you know, because your progression in is not based on what you do. It's not, you know, if you have a whole staff full of bums, you know, that doesn't make you a bad pitching coach. You know, I mean, if seriously, that doesn't make me a bad pitching coach. You know, if I got a whole staff full of aces, it don't make me a great pitching coach. You know? It don't. You know, it doesn't. You know, it's a lot of different parts. How I communicate. What do I say to make this guy better? How can I communicate to him? You know, it's a lot of different things. You know, so it's the success is not in my hands. It's not. I'm at the mercy of somebody else's. I never liked that feel, man. I never liked that feel. You know, I never liked that feel. If I do a good job, I want to be rewarded. You know, if I do a poor job, let me go. You know, that's how it is when you play. You know, you kill them. Look, man, they're going to find a spot for you. They're going to find a spot. I ain't never seen nobody hit 400 and get released. You know, I ain't never seen nobody with a 1 ERA get released. You know, look, they going to find a way for you. You do the job. They going to find a spot for you. You might not be prototypical. They might not look at you like, man, this guy's a star. Okay. But you put up star numbers and you still do it. Somebody say, oh, all right, okay, something about this guy I like, you know. But in coaching, it's not that. It's just not that mindset, man. You know.
Man, we could talk about this all night, man. We're gonna wrap it up here, though, Wayne. It's an obvious question, but going back from when you started playing ball on bases and Phoebus and ODU and the pros, what do you think sports did for you, just as a person? Like, what did it do for you in terms of, you know, it made you who you are?
It teaches you how to work within a confines of a team, and communicate with people, and learn people's ways that don't look like you or don't act like you, or going from the same place. And that's a skill set, man, that you're going to need for your entire life. I mean, I tell you, I know a lot of people who have hired former athletes just because when you're an athlete, you're a part of something, you are a goal. Your goal is to win, and you have that mindset. And they feel like, look, if you have that drive, I can teach him the rest. And, no, I can teach you what you're supposed to do. I can't teach you drive. You know, I can't get you up until you be here on time and stay late and do what it takes to get better. That's something that's instilled in the athlete who's played at a high level. I can teach you the numbers to put in, how to put them in. I can teach you all that, but they go get it. And to be the best, you either you have it or you don't. Right. You either have it or you don't. If you don't, well, you can't be a part of my team. You just can't. You can't. There's no other way to put it. You know, you got to find it. You know, I've hired people that didn't have it. You know, last one to get there, the first one to leave. You know, that kind of mentality. You know, it never works out. It never works out. But that former athlete, you know, you treat them right. They have drive. They can be part of a team. You know, they'll put the ego aside most of the time. You know, and let's go to work. That carries, man. That transfers. That transfers a long way.
I would say that like I said, that starts at home. You know, that starts, you know, at the root. You know, like you said, you can't teach that as you pass through life. Either you have it or you don't.
Yeah. I mean,
so
my parents gave it to me, man. You know, I never saw my parents not working. You know, my mom and dad always had two jobs. They were always working, and now I always work. My kids, I mean, Miles working 40 hours a week at Walmart and school. Wesley's you know, working 40 hours a week with my wife and at the dump and going to school. You know, I didn't have to beat them upside the head. You know, it wasn't like, hey, Nino, go get a job. You know, I'm tired of paying for such a, you know. I can remember, man, when I was in college, my sophomore year, and I had an apartment. And when I signed the apartment, I had a 12-month lease, so I had to pay for the off season, the 3 months of the summer. And I was playing baseball in Baltimore for this team called the Johnnies, and I was working. And the summer was about over, and the guy who had to work was like, look, man, I know the summer's about over. You know what I'm saying? You want to take these last couple of weeks off, you know, before you get back to school. And I'll never forget how much I was getting paid. I was getting paid $295 every Friday. It was a construction called construction company called Potts and Callahan. And I was like, well, if I don't make this money, my mom and dad are going to pay this rent. You know, I was like, you know, back home at ODU. I was like, this is a no-brainer. You know, I mean, I don't want my mom and dad to pay for it. You know, they get their own stuff. You know, I'm healthy. I can hustle. I can grind. I don't need a break. You know, I don't need a break. No, I'm working, man. I'm working because, you know, if I'm not working to get it, my mom and daddy got to work to get it. And why should I burden them with that? You know, I'm healthy. I can do it. No, I never set well with me, man. We've always been workers, man. And I married a worker. You know, I mean, my wife, you know, bro, that's why, you know, we're so equally yoked. I mean, look, during the day, man, we get up, I hug you, look, kiss you out, and I'll catch up with you later. She go on grind, and she goes, gets it. You know, I go grind, I go get it. She's on the phone with me all day. You know, what you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? We ain't blowing each other up.
Go grind.
Because we ain't blowing each other up because we both got our head down, man. We both got our head down, and we getting it, you know.
And I find it interesting, like when I first met you, man, I was like, man, I was talking to your family. I was like, man, Wayne was the fourth pick. I was surprised. I was like shocked. I was hyped. And then, you know what they said to me? It's just Wayne to us. He's just Wayne to us. You know, it was just like, that's just what he does. He's a baseball player, but he's just Wayne to us. And I just thought that was so telling of how you were raised, man. Just humble and just go get it, go grind. And, you know, that's what you did for a living. But, you know, so, yeah.
I wouldn't want that any other way, man. My boys that I roll with, man, let me tell you, bro, we never talk about baseball in my career, man. I'm telling you, they know, obviously, you know, because we've been riding since we was 13 and 14. But my cats are coming through here and smoke cigars, man, and come through here, and we do this way, we go do this, we go do that. We're gonna talk about baseball. And ain't nobody saying, oh, man, how was it like this, bro?
That was what you did. That was life.
This is just Wayne, man. You know what I'm saying? I'd rather not talk about it. I mean, I answer any question. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I think it's something that we're gonna have to sit. You know, I got to relive every single day.
But I do have. Since you said it, now I want to ask you this question because I was going to ask you. You did play in San Francisco that 1 year. How was it playing on the team with Barry Bonds, and what was he like?
That's a good question, man. I get that pretty frequently. You know, let me tell you, man, Barry has a humongous ego. All right.
Okay.
But when you let him know that you ain't afraid of him and you ain't intimidated, bro, he was hella cool to me. And I can remember sitting there talking in the clubhouse, man. And you almost got to make fun of him. He said something so stupid one time. He says, we were talking about, we in a rain delay, you know.
Uh-huh.
And he made a comment, he says, man, look, I'm tired of getting these gold gloves, you know. And and then you're sitting in the clubhouse with 25 guys who would do anything
to get one.
To get one gold glove. And they handed him out to Barry, you know what I'm saying. Did he probably deserve 5 of them? No. You know, but, you know, he was Barry. You know, he was the face of the league. You know what I'm saying? They kept giving him. You know? And I said, and in front of the whole team, I was like, you know what, Barry? I was like, man, you right, bro. I said, man, look, when I get this gold glove this year, I'm like, man, I'm gonna throw my. who the hell would want something that's that stupid? You know, you got to make fun of him, man.
Right.
You gotta. I don't know, man. I treat him like he was any other dude. And I'm gonna show you something he gave me. Hold on, just hang tight.
Okay. The Phoebus chair, Phoebus.
Chair, yes, sir.
Phantoms.
No.
Yeah, say, man, we just got to throw them questions out there.
When Barry hit home run number 73, he gave me his cleats.
Stop.
Oh, wow.
For real.
Go ahead, man.
Yeah, these are them right here.
Wow, bro.
The Philos.
Yeah. Yep, he signed and everything. You see his autograph on there.
Yep, I can see it. Yep.
Yeah.
See, that's what I'm talking about,
you only
man.
get that right here on the
Right.
Ballin VA podcast, baby. That's what I'm
Yes,
talking
sir.
about, Wayne. That's what I'm talking about, bro.
Man, that's what's up, man.
We were cool, man.
Oh, that's
we were
dope.
cool.
That's dope.
You know, I mean,
Yeah, because I mean, you know, Barry got a bad rap, man, and to hear that from somebody who played with him, and the fact that Larry, that was a great question, man. You asked Wayne. I mean, we get the inside from you being a teammate instead of hearing it from the media and everybody else, man. That's awesome, man. To hear that story.
I mean, look, he ain't for everybody. Okay,
Right.
He ain't for everybody. Him and Jeff Kent hated each other. You know,
I could tell they didn't get
they
along.
hated each other.
Yeah.
I tell you one thing, you know, I much rather deal with Barry than Jeff Kent. You know,
Yeah.
No, Jeff Kent would see you. You know, if you bumped into the mall, he wouldn't even speak to you. And we, you know, I mean, he just, you know, he was in his own little planet. You know,
He seemed like he's like that.
I mean, so you know, but you know, if you don't speak to me, that's cool too. I don't lose no sleep over somebody not speaking to me.
One more question for me, Wayne. Explain that, man. Like people that watch games on TV, they see athletes and they think they're supposed to be boys. And how do you go about playing with teammates versus hanging out with them off the field? Do you have to be cool with somebody off the field to be a great teammate, a great champion? I mean, how does that work?
Good question. Good question.
You know, when I was in San Francisco, man, we had a pretty close-knit team, man. You know, after the plane would land, you know, they say, look, man, everybody at Morton's at going, 8:00.
Right.
You know, and I'm telling you, you would have 20 guys there. You know, Barry and Jeff usually weren't there. Maybe Jeff would show up. Barry wouldn't come. You know, but again, that's his own thing. But the majority of the team was there. You know, majority of the team was there. And that's a good feeling, man. You know, you don't want 25 guys, 25 calves. You know, I mean, that's the same for teams who are split apart. You know, 25 guys, 25 calves. I mean, after the game, everybody going their separate ways. You know, normally you like to be able to, create some kind of chemistry off the field. But I think the better teams do have that. You know, I think the better teams do have that. You know, and it's usually led by some veteran players that usually try to bring the teams together. You know, but you don't have to. You don't have to. I think it makes it for an easier environment. You know, you're with somebody for 9 straight months. You know, 160 games. You know, I mean, you'd like to enjoy their company outside the field, but hey, look, man, you got 25 guys. Some guys only speak English. You know, some guys ain't never seen a black people before. I mean, it's just fact, man. It's just facts.
Yeah, you're right.
I mean, so you know, so it can be different meeting somebody that you would never see yourself spend your free time with. But if you can find that chemistry amongst those guys, man.
Do you think? Quick question: do you think Barry ever get in Hall of Fame?
Veterans Committee, probably. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I think so, man. You know, yeah. You know, Barry would have been a Hall of Famer.
Absolutely.
However,
The numbers don't lie, bro.
But, you know,
we talking about pre when he was the Pittsburgh man.
I'm talking about when him and Van Slyke.
No, he would have got in, but you just don't. You can't say what his numbers would have looked like. They wouldn't look like they do. You know, I can tell you that. Right. You know, he wouldn't hit. He would have hit 500 home runs one year, 600 home runs in 1 year, number 700 the next year. He did that. You know, in 3 years he hit 500. He hit the 600 milestone. He hit the 700 in 3 years. I mean, he would have done that, but his number would have been worthy. You know, but you know, he wasn't really popular with the press, and you know they have a lot to say over that. So he would have got in. But what a lot of people don't understand is, you know, Barry just took it to a different level. Everybody was doing it. Right. You know, bro, it was very, 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 very popular. You know, not even amongst the guys that got caught. It was It was way bigger than that. The people who got caught, I bought my stuff in the wrong person. Yeah, I just got put on blast. That ain't even the half, even close. It was almost like it was normal. You know, so let's not put Barry. I mean, I want to put Barry in a certain
by himself. He wasn't alone.
You know, he wasn't alone. I mean, I don't want to put. I'll put it this way. I don't want to put anybody's name out there. I'm not going to do it. So there was a leadoff hitter. I'll let you guys. There was a leadoff hitter that was a 10, 12 home run guy a year for the Orioles. This dude hit 51 in the leadoff spot one year.
I know who you're talking about. I'm an Oriole fan. I know exactly what you're talking about.
You know, he hit 51, bro. 51. You know, I mean, come on, man. Do you magically just hit 51 home runs? I mean, what happened now? You worked out with a home run hitter? I mean, that doesn't happen, bro.
You don't hit 40 home runs, you know.
No.
You know, you
don't go from 10 to 50. It just doesn't happen. Yeah. You know, I mean, so I mean, you know, he wasn't alone.
Yeah.
You know?
Okay, so Wayne, so the people who weren't, how did that make you feel though, bro? Like you see it, they getting paid, they getting money from all this, man. You got Braun who had to give back some money from the Brewers. Like, how does that make guys that are clean? Like, I mean, obviously you can't snitch on anybody and tell, but you know what I'm saying? But how does that make the guys that are clean, grinding? Like you've been a grinder your whole life, you know what I mean?
It's a dilemma. Either you do or you don't. Right. And people who did it, look, man, I hate to say it, you know, because you're cheating, okay? I'm not sure if I can totally knock them. So let's look at this. You know, Robinson Cano just got caught. Okay.
Yeah, break it down.
Robinson Cano just got caught, and when he got caught, you know, I heard several people say, "Man, this dude just lost $30 million." Okay? He did just lose $30 million. Think about this. How much did he make on doing that?
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
No,
I
mean he lost $30 million, but he made $200 million.
Yeah, man.
You know? I mean, was he a $200 million player without it?
Hell no.
I'd probably say no. You know, he's a good player, but we really don't know. You know,
right?
So you know, he's frowned upon, and all that, but he's got $200 million in the bank. You know, so
yeah,
call it right, call it wrong. You call it right, you call it wrong. I just call it facts. I mean, yeah, he's losing $34 million, okay? And he's probably gonna be pissed because he's probably used to establish a lifestyle or whatever. Okay.
Right.
But he's got more money than anybody, any of his friends or most of than 90% of the country. You know, 95% of his country and you know the rest of the world. You know what I'm saying? So I know money isn't everything, but it does solve a lot of things. You know,
it does.
So I don't know, man. You know, do you really knock him? No, I don't know.
Especially but Wayne as a pitcher though, bro. You know, I mean, you pitching to somebody who in the back of your mind, you know they're doing what they're doing, and you know straight up you would get them out if they weren't doing all that, and you just got in the back of your mind like, look, man, this dude's doing what he's doing, and
I didn't think that.
You don't think that?
You can think that in hindsight now, okay?
Right.
When I'm on the mound, I'm like,
I'm trying to get this guy out regardless.
Get him out, bro. I'm
gonna get his ass out one way or another.
We talked about, you know, such and such, you know, but if you go out there and say, if he hits a home run it's because of steroids, you've already built yourself an excuse in.
Right.
And in most major leaguers don't build excuses in, because you can have all the excuses you want. If you don't do the job, bro, you're out of a job. I mean, you're gonna be gone. So you can come up, you can fabricate the story why you didn't do well as all you want to, but you're underneath the lights, man, and you can't fool fans, you can't fool the front office, and nobody cares about the reason why you didn't get him out because on steroids, because you're all there. We're in the big leagues. Get him out or you don't. It's black and white. So save it, because nobody wants to hear it. You know, he's here. You beat the system somehow. Get him out. If you don't, it is what it is.
Like my man Lamar Jackson said, work harder, nobody cares. You know what I mean?
I mean, you got the option of cheating too. I mean, I ain't promoting it, you know, and I wouldn't do that, you know. But I don't want to pinpoint Barry. Barry was just the best who did it. You know, I mean, bro, I've seen it, and I just, you know, it is what it is, man. You know, I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say.
No, that's what we wanted, a candid, very straightforward answer. You know, because I'm a fan. Like I said, I was a fan before all of that. So, you know, I just want to hear from somebody that was close up.
Yeah. Like when he was with Van Slyke. I mean, you know, him and Van Slyke were at Pittsburgh, and he was just starting to become a player that everybody was recognizing. And then he went over to San Fran and just did his thing. And then, of course, you know, the Bash brothers were in Oakland doing their thing, Canseco and McGuire. So, you know, it was all over the place back then, man.
I was arbitrary, man. We used to joke all the time. We like to joke, you know.
But for him to give you his cleats, though, that's so dope, man.
That's dope, man.
I got a couple good stories I can't really share on this, you know.
We'll take that off camera, bro.
Yeah, off camera. Yeah. One funny story is really off camera. I don't know what he's going through. But I tell you, but I don't think nobody. That wouldn't be good for that story.
Man. But look, man, Wayne, you know you my guy, man. I appreciate you telling your story. I want other people with a different avenue to hear this, man. And like his sweatshirt says, more than an athlete, you know, you're an educated brother, bro. Went to ODU, graduated, doing your thing in the community, you know, coaching kids at your alma mater. I mean,
life, man.
It's the life, man. That's what the story's all about, bro.
I'm just Wayne, man.
I know you just Wayne, and we love what you're doing, man. That's why I had to get you on. I'm glad you're part of this program with the sponsorship and the partnership. Tell your wife we thank her too for being part of it. And man, listen, man, we really appreciate you coming on, Wayne. Much love, man. Always.
I'm glad I'm one of the first, man.
Yes, sir. Always,
man. We appreciate you, Wayne. You know, you could come back on anytime, man. We can relive some more stories, man. And, you know, this is just, you know, the tip of the iceberg, man. You know, so anytime, man. We appreciate you, everything that you're doing for us.
For sure, man. For sure. Good luck to you guys.
All right, Wayne. Thanks, man. Appreciate you, man.
All right.